That's so interesting.
But it's not even like subtle. It's like a clear.
Yeah, there's a significant difference.
Clear difference.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I haven't done a burger video yet on this channel, and I figured that, we'd start off by doing one that is fairly easy, but I want to do my own twist on it. And I'm not just talking about getting a plancha or something like that for your grill. I got a little different method that we're going to try out today. But more importantly than anything, one of the things that I want to do for this video is to actually grind our own meat. I got these 2 packs of chuck roast that we got right here. We're gonna cut them into strips so it's a little bit easier to feed into the grinder. We'll make 1, 2, 3, about 4 cuts right there. So they're roughly about, I don't know, like 1 inch wide strips. And do you have to do this? No, I just kind of wanted to. And I also think that, I think it's cool to see how all this stuff is really made. But if you don't have a good meat grinder, go to a local butcher shop. So here we go, we got our strips of this chuck roast. The reason why I like keeping it long like this is because when you feed it into the grinder, it'll kind of catch and feed itself. Sometimes when you cut into chunks that are like too small, you kind of have to use that plunger to push it down through. When the chunks, you got too many small chunks, like it'll get stuck and you're almost like smashing the meat and trying to force it through. This way, I feel like it just kind of feeds a little bit easier. You might have to use a plunger every now and then, but I feel like this is a better way to do it. So here is my 1/2 horsepower meat grinder. No, I am not affiliated with them. They did not give me this meat grinder, but if they would ever want to work with me, I would gladly accept. Now we're gonna put in those 2 chunks of fat, just cause why not? I was also gonna say, we're using the large die on this one. Your burgers to be a little bit more steak-like, and also you get those little crevices that start to crisp up a little bit, so it's not super smooth. And as you guys can tell, there's no need for a plunger if you just make these strips nice and long, and they just kind of shoot through and just kind of, it feeds itself. I'll just say the only thing you really have to worry about is making sure that your strips aren't too big and it will kind of like go through that chute up top. All right, so we just kind of pressed out all the air pockets on here, and you can still see it's kind of coarse, and I prefer it this way than grinding it twice and make it super smooth, because when you're trying to form different patties, whether you're gonna do thin patties, thicker patties, smash burgers, whatever you wanna do, I prefer to have it coarse so you can work it to be a little bit smoother if you need to be. But I still like having burgers that have a little bit more of a coarser edge because I think it makes an interesting texture, and those times when you really wanna get crispy edges, this is personally my favorite way to do it. All right, so the namesake of this burger, the onion burger. We're gonna use a mandolin and cut this super, super thin. Okay, now we just wanna make sure with our mandolin that we get it as thin as we possibly can. Yeah, I would say that is pretty thin and what we're looking for right there. These onions are looking pretty good, but one thing I just noticed is I think I gotta replace this blade for my mandolin because look at what it's doing to the back half of this onion. It's getting destroyed, so yeah, definitely in need of a new one. That should be plenty of onion for us to work with. I would always say it's always better to have a little bit more than not enough, so yeah, everything looks pretty good. All right, so with the onion burgers, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it a 2-patty burger. And because we want the sides to get really nice and lacy and we're gonna smash them out pretty thin, we're gonna make 2-ounce patties. And for this one, we're gonna run a little bit of an experiment. One of the things that we're gonna test is just kind of like doing it the traditional way. And in here, we'll use a cast iron. And the second thing that we're gonna try to do is see if we can pre-smash the burgers with onion in it, then par freeze it so that later on when we go to flip it, hopefully we can still flip it without it completely just falling apart. Because obviously we can't take a ball of meat and smash it on the grill because we'll push all the meat through to the bottom of the grate. That's the idea. I have no idea if it's gonna work, but if it does work, I think it would be super cool to be able to do that. The grill offers a lot more space so that you can make more patties at a time. While as if you're doing a smash patty inside the house, you can only really do one patty at a time. Maybe you can have, you know, 2 pans going at one time. That's our experiment that we're running today with our onion burgers, and let's see how it goes. All right, so with these smash burgers, like I said before, we're gonna make into 2-ounce balls. All right, guys, so here are roughly about 2-ounce patties or 2 ounces of ground beef that will turn into patties. And so the ones that we're gonna do the traditional way in a cast iron, we're just gonna leave as is. And the ones that we're gonna pre-smash and do stuff like that, let's take care of those right now. We're gonna take some parchment, grab one of our 2-ounce balls, grab another parchment, give a light press just so we can get a flat surface. Now I got something that has a flat bottom, and then we're just gonna push it down as evenly as we possibly can. Grab some onions. On top again. And with these, as you kind of do that first initial press, you're not going to be able to get those lacy edges if you just push down the middle. So you're going to kind of take into quadrants and just kind of go from the center and kind of push towards the outside. We just want to make sure it's nice and even and it spreads out. Just wanted to give you guys a closer look at this. Onions smashed into there. So I think it should be interesting. But we are not seasoning this first. We'll season this right before we throw this on the grill. To make a fair comparison, we're gonna make 2 burgers exactly the same. We're just gonna keep it classic with a little mustard and some pickles. This one is the traditional on the cast iron. And this one is the par frozen and straight on the grill. All right, which one do you want to try first? You want to go the regular cast iron, or you want to go the par frozen?
Yeah, let's go regular just so that
All
way
right.
we have that's the baseline, right? Not very good.
I don't know. I'm interested in the texture of the onion on that one.
Yeah,
because there is a little more texture on this one.
It's crunchier, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, I'm the smokiness. Let's see if there's any sort of smokiness at all with this one. I think there's less flavor.
This one's better.
You look, oh, the first one, right? Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it's drier or what it is, but
It tastes tougher.
yeah. Sure, the cast iron one is better. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot more tender. The crust is significantly better. And somehow, like, you can taste the cheese more in the other one too.
It's melted better. I think,
Yeah.
On this one.
Yeah. And I don't taste the onion in this one at all.
Yeah, I just taste mustard and pickle.
Wow. That is interesting. I didn't think it was gonna make that much of a difference. It like muted everything.
Is it because it's frozen? Is that why?
It could be. Wow, I was like talking about frozen burgers being I was talking them up earlier because it has a nostalgic feeling to it.
I love frozen
Yeah.
pizza. I feel like it's greasier, but in a good way.
The
Like
cast
this.
iron?
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video, and obviously the experiment didn't turn out exactly the way I had hoped, but at the same time I think that is a successful experiment nonetheless, because I think a part of testing different techniques and trying to find new ways to do things is to fail a lot, and maybe trying to find or testing 100 different ways to do it and finding out only maybe 3 or 4 of them are actually good ideas. And that's the part of cooking that really you start to hone in those skills and start to understand techniques a little bit better. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this experiment, even though it was a little bit weird and a little bit different. But yeah, I want to continue to do so on this channel, just to challenge certain things and challenge certain techniques. If you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.